1 month. This May, I will make an entire video game. It'll be playable by you, the viewer, on the 1st of June on Itch.io. This video series documents my journey using clips from my live stream over at twitch.tv/insanity. So to kick off this series, I'm going to hand it over to Peaky, the streamer who didn't set up his mic properly before starting this series. This was a little arena shooter thing that was going to have all sorts of bits to it. It was aimed to be a roguelike where you went to different arenas, found different bits, upgraded your weapons. The loop was going crazy. The main problem was it was scope. For those who don't know, scope is a term used in industry to describe the breadth and scale of your game. It's a way to designate how much work it's going to actually take to complete the finished project. Commonly, this will be followed by the phrase scope creep, which refers to a project slowly bloating in size until it becomes unmanageable and unfinishable. This project is the thing you see here. This is the whole game. Currently, I'm referring to it as Shotgun. You are a person with a shotgun, there are a wave of enemies coming at you, and you're going to kill those enemies and survive as long as possible. Extended versions past this, which there will be no focus on until these 3 parts are done. I would like to add roguelike mechanic. I'd like to make the shotgun more interactive and have you more involved in the reloading of the shotgun and different ammo types, adding more interesting enemies that you have to face off against. Ugh, I can just hear that scope creeping up on me. My first job is to get this done. Until this is done and in a good state, I cannot do any of this because I am giving myself 1 month. At the end of this month, I would be releasing this game on Itch.io. That is the plan. So I have until the 1st of June to release. This is also why it's very important for me to work on the minimum viable product and expand beyond there. Minimum viable product is another industry term, one I'm personally not a very big fan of, but this term refers to the minimum you can make to have something that you can actually give to an end user, or player if you don't want to sound like a cold corporate demon. It can be used as a good way to define a base ground for your project to get started from, so that you can then build upon it and make something even better. Unfortunately, from my experience, it would be better defined as minimum monetizable product, where at the moment there's something barely playable, we would instead move on to monetizing it as heavily as possible rather than improving upon it and making something actually good. Because then, as long as I have at least this done, everything I work on past that point improves on something that could have already been put out there. I would love to believe I could get it done this week. That sounds psychotic, but I would love to believe I could. The thing I want to focus on today is the weapon itself, the shotgun, because that's really the start point of one of the most important bits. If the whole game is going to be about this core mechanic of a shotgun, then I need to make sure that shotgun works and feels good to kill things with gun in video games. So, let's break that down. Now, I already have a base weapon, which is very helpful. So the base weapon is done. I need a 3D model. This will need animations. I'll need to take the base into shotgun. I missed one. See, this is why it's important to break this down. And this, arguably, is one of the most important ones. Sound. The shotgun needs to go bang. It needs to make noises when it reloads. They need to sound good, because you're going to be hearing this sound a lot. For the 3D model, I have a base shotgun model from this pack that I can use. I will be modifying and changing it. For the sound effects and sounds, I have a few packs from Avani. So that pretty clearly breaks down what I'll need to do for the shotgun. What we're going to do to begin with is we're going to go into Unity. We're going to go into the script I currently have for my pistol here, and we're going to slowly turn this from a pistol into a shotgun within this environment, shooting these target boards. So in terms of progress made, we have basically a fully functional shotgun here. I'd still say there's issues with the spread. It's probably not got the weapon feel it needs yet. but a lot of that's going to come down to animation and sound and fiddling and tweaking. So, most of the body of the work yesterday went into programming the actual shotgun weapon. It has a fall-off range. You actually have to reload the gun now. It has a limit of ammo. The fall-off range is a limit cap, and also the damage slowly reduces after a certain distance. So, as a shotgun should be, it does more damage if you get right up at them and blast them in the face with it. There were a couple of notes I had about me not being completely happy with how the spread functioned and things like that, but since the main focus is on MVP, my first thing is getting a bit of everything in and working. So we're gonna do a bit of model cleanup, because this isn't a model I made, this is an asset, but I want to do some work on it to make it more my own, give it more of my style. So that'll be like texturing it, or adding some sort of texture map to it so that I can add some colours, because at the moment it's all grey and that's no good. But the main thing is going to be the animations, and I had a bit more of a think of what actual animations it's going to need. So model cleanup, texture, animations. Then I'll be bringing these animations back into the project, where I will need to make an animation system. So I need to actually have the animations in. You can make like an animation tree in Unity. I'm probably going to try using that to begin with, and then have it so it flows between each animations in the tree, and that I can call to that. You add a thing called an animator to the model, and then you can have the animation tree and that animator, which references each animation that model will be able to use, and then I can call to that to tell it to play animations based on what's going on. So when I fire the gun, it will play the fire animation, and so on and so forth. Cool, we did it. Shotgun is done. Well, it's now in a very usable state in terms of MVP and having like the basics needed to have an animated, textured, semi-decent looking weapon on the screen. I'd say that's not half bad. I dig it. That works. If I manage to survive the whole stream, we have about 4 hours. Export the shotgun. This should hopefully be a nice, quick and easy process if everything is set up right. Once that's in, we'll set up the animations for it. There's going to be a small bundle of programming work for that. If I'm feeling up for it, we'll have a first go at sound effects. Set up empty arena. I kind of want to set up a pixel filter just for fun. Just because I have gone kind of retro style with the shotgun, so I kind of want to see what pixel filter and stuff looks like on this project. It's something I've done before, so I still remember the basic premise of how to set it up. I'm going to sit and probably work a lot quieter than I did the last couple of days. Okay, that's cool. That's good. That's made sure that I've made some progress today, which is what I want. I wanted to make sure, like, with this being the first week, I think it'd really bum me out if I hadn't managed to do the first 3 streams. If I'd had to, like, take the day off proper, I mean, maybe it would have been more sensible, but I think mentally I needed to do this, even though it's possibly not the smartest idea. But I mean, this is the start of a style here. Oh, poor fella. Sucks that I felt a little ill that week, but all in all I'm pretty happy with the progress that I made. And that shotgun, think of beauty. If you're watching this as it's released, and I scheduled it right, I'm live right now over at twitch.tv/insanity, or I will be shortly, link in description. Otherwise, here's my schedule, come say hi. I get so lonely.